All right, welcome to the channel. And guess what? It's October 1st. It means that we're officially moving into the holiday season, in my opinion. I always love October, November, December, because it hosts some of the best holidays of the year. Besides that, the topic of the video today is actually pretty exciting. As I'd mentioned in many of my videos, I want to talk to you all about fair market rates and how that's going to affect the current vouchers you have, and those of you that are out there on the market looking for housing, you're trying to get a voucher. And we've seen a very untenable 3 years with a pandemic, extreme pricing, housing shortages, inflation, and so on. And so how do we match the course? If we're given a voucher and you've got it for a certain value, how do you match it with the ever-increasing amounts of rent landlords want? So that's kind of the topic. But before we get in there, I want to talk a little bit about my company. As you can see on the screen, I own Section8Consulting.com. I work with around 700 to 1,000 clients a year. And we help people navigate the system. HUD's always been a friendly agency, and I have nothing but the best remarks for them. However, housing authorities, which are owned by the state and counties, they usually perform not so well. And they're hard to navigate, and their job is to give a voucher. So they don't like to teach. There's not a lot of, it's just not very equitable. It's hard to navigate them and figure out what's going to happen, and then you have your concerns of how long it may take. So as a company, we work with clients to get them through that and hopefully get a voucher. Moving on from that. So today, the exciting part is I want to talk a little bit about the fair market rates, but in order to do that, I have to educate you guys a little bit. So you have FMR, fair market rates. Now, fair market rates, in my opinion, would be your bigger metropolitan areas. Let's say 500,000 and above. Now, for the rest of the nation, which is a lot of people, okay, that's what we call SAFMRs, or SAFMR, or small area market rents. And even I have to look at my own notes because the acronym's a little bit long. But I just call it SAFMRs. So you have two different market rates, FMR and then the small FMR. And those market rates determine how much landlords can charge. But the consequential fact of small market rents and market rate, rents, is simply this. With the interaction of both, it allows landlords to charge what's necessary with inflation, and it also boosts those of you who have vouchers. So that means that fundamentally, 2022 going into 2023, by HUD's mandate, we're going to have a higher percentage ratio of these vouchers worth more, which is good. It means we're starting to match the points of inflation in the housing crisis. So as an example here, I want to give credit to Novak. They do some of the marketable research for the government. Here's a list of percentages here that are greater than 20%. And as you might notice, in some counties, it's up to 61%. That means that whatever the prior rent was, they were willing to pay out in rents. It means that as of current, that they're going to be paying 61% more. And it's notable because if we look down here, and we look through our lists, I'm going to bring up a few counties that come to us commonly. Tampa, okay? Tampa, Florida, moving up 23%. San Diego, I got to say that's about 13% of my clients. They're moving up 21%. And we have Atlanta moving up 20%. And we have Vegas, which is notorious after California had its housing crisis. Las Vegas and Vegas, that whole area, the whole state of Nevada, was flooded by people from California. And, of course, they ran out of vouchers. Now, one thing we need to pay special attention to is one curious factor. Besides the nice part of FMRs, which is your fair market rates, and your small area, in case you live in a cornfield in Iowa, is we have a secondary factor that's kind of playing out right now. And that's that, as of today, HUD is yielding out 20,000 new vouchers. What I mean by that is they're giving the funding, which is allocated from HUD, and it moves over to every housing authority in America, and they disperse. That's the largest number of vouchers that's ever been presented on the market at any given time in U.S. history. Not only is it the largest amount, it's also rather striking because when you think about in terms of a year, everybody, and I have to say, we're a lot like ants. We all want to do things during the summer and the spring, right? So that means everybody wants to move, everybody wants a voucher. But when you hit September, October, November, December, January, February, and about March, that's down season. That's non-peak season. We're in non-peak season, which means essentially Not only are we getting better rents for landlords, which means higher rent reasonableness for the vouchers, it's a two-way street there. We're flooding the market with vouchers. The housing market is starting to ease a bit. So there's a real good dynamic going on. And then, of course, the biggest factor is all the people that like to do the moving and applying and getting vouchers have already done that and yielded for this summer. Well, it was terrible. As I tell you guys every year during summer, it's the worst time ever. From about March to, June, July, August. August is a horrible time to try to get vouchers. It's slow. It's meticulous. Half the housing doors are closing. You get mid-year, you're running out of federal funds. And so all these great things are happening, and it's splash, here it is for the holidays during non-peak season. So it's an incredible time for both landlords and those of you seeking housing. And what I mean by housing is low-income housing, affordable housing, Section 811, Section 504, Section 202 for seniors with a disability, BAWA for domestic violence victims, HOPA for those with the AIDS. There's a whole plethora of vouchers, PSH, RRH, and so on. So this is an excellent time. So this video kind of encompasses many different ranges. But I got to tell you guys, if you're ever considering pressing the gas and maybe getting a voucher to help you, because we've all coming out of this pandemic. Look, a lot of people that have never needed assistance in their life are having to do it now. It's been a rocky couple of years since 2019. And if you're going to do something, I would suggest to you that the next 6 months are critical. If you're going to apply. If you need help applying, get a help. If you need a consultant like me in our company, get a consultant. Because what I don't want to see is there's going to be a lot of tears and a lot of anger when the party's over, okay? 20,000 vouchers only last so long. So it's the same thing with peak season. Just like stimulus checks, after everybody popped them, burned them, and did whatever they needed to do, the party was over, right? And here we are at the verge of a recession. So I would remind you guys, now is not the time to hold back. If you're considering getting on the market and you need the help, I would suggest you to do so. For those of you that are in the state of Florida and other states up the East Coast that were affected by Hurricane Ian, if you have FEMA and Red Cross in town and you were actually affected by that storm, that is also another great way to get great way to get a federal reference for housing, a referral. You can't get a higher referral than that. You speak to the employees at Red Cross and FEMA, and they can assist you with likely expediting an emergency housing voucher if you're an actual victim. I can't think of any better way to do so. But for those of you laying up at night trying to figure out what's the next day going to bring for you, whether or not you're going to go bankrupt trying to pay rent, you're struggling, maybe you didn't plan the best way for your retirement, maybe you're a veteran and you're down on your luck right now and you're close to getting evicted from your apartment. Look, guys, you can call HUD, you can call the Housing Authority, you can call 211, or you can call a consultant. My reputation is pretty good. We've been yielding results now for over 20 years. I'd say about 90% ratio, where we have successful clients, about 10% fail ratio. But a lot of things are in consideration to that. It isn't perfect, but I think it has been best served through any client that we worked with. And we've worked with clients in all 50 states. So I think that's amenable at best. And we do retain a law firm that we work with in the event the issues do come up outside of the normal scope of just trying to get a voucher. We also have former employees and directors of housing authorities that have been gracious enough to lend their expertise to us. And part of understanding the system, whether it's FMRs, small market rates, doing consultant work, is making sure that you're working with or getting manuals, operations, procedures, policies, data manuals, and all that, some of which comes from Nana McKay and other places. If you don't fundamentally understand at the executive level of a housing authority what they're doing internally, then how can you ever appreciate whether or not you applying is even going to make a difference, whether they even consider you? So there's so much that goes into this, and so very little accurate information on Google and throughout videos that it makes a hard decision for a lot of folks that are just chasing their tail. So, well, look, guys, I've enjoyed talking with y'all again today. If you'd like to join me this afternoon, I'm considering making a live video, which is a Q&A, and that would allow you to ask all kinds of questions. Fundamentally, I think I can answer most questions in relation to housing, vouchers, and so on. However, I'm not a 203K consultant. So if you're a landlord and you're considering building or getting involved in Section 42, I may not be able to answer questions on the structural level, but I think almost every other topic related to it, I'm pretty sure that I've covered it at some point in my career. Well, guys, I've enjoyed talking to you. I'm excited about the holidays. I'm excited we're back making videos for you guys. You know, it's education through video. It empowers you. For some of you, it helps weaponize your case, because the more you understand fundamentally about what vouchers are, how they work, and how to get them quicker, the better you're going to do. You know, that's just the reality. And we're living in perilous times, you know. A big portion of our country has suffered through a lot, and we're seeing a lot of inflation and so on. And so right now, housing is a critical issue. It's about as critical as it's ever been. So, all right, guys, well, you enjoy your day, and hopefully if we come to it, we'll make a live video as a Q&A, which we typically do around 3:30, 4:30 Central Standard Time, Texas time, if you want to join us and ask questions. All right, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.